Nation, hey, Zach Edwards here with another Monday preview, review, and this time actually quick story. I'm going to disregard the review because last week was a very quiet week, which was nice. President's Day, it was a quiet day for me or a quiet week for me. But this one was really cool. This story, this really quick story that I wanted to tell you is amazing. And I never heard about it as in high school or even in my adult years. But did you know that the British abolished slavery in 1808? America abolished slavery in 1807. America abolished their slavery 1808. But you know what happened is when they abolished slavery, they went on they had a mission to stop all slavery around the world. And so it's funny, you're like, what? Wait a second. Yeah, they wanted to stop all slavery. They didn't just want to start slavery in England or the little areas around Europe. No, they went all the way to Africa. They went to the source. So I ask you in the question, ever wonder why the British began patrolling and pushing through the deepest, darkest parts of Africa in the early 1800s? Well, this is why. Because there was slavery, you could either go to the place that they stud or the place that they gathered their slaves. So this was a market. It's like the drug wars. So in the drug wars, you can either go to Escobar or any of the other cartels down in Mexico or around the world, or you can go to the people that are actually using them or distributing them in the United States. So which one's better to go after? Well, they've had this question for a long time, and they have not been able to solve the drug issue. Well, interesting enough, because of America and Britain, they were actually able to stop slavery, the whole slave trade. What happened was the British, 1808, they actually sent a fleet, a squadron. It was the British Navy West Africa Squadron, which actually patrolled all of the Atlantic Ocean on the continent of Africa. So by patrolling that, they were stopping ships. They were sinking ships. They were freeing slaves. They were all the ship owners or managers that were on there, they would imprison them because slavery was supposed to stop around the world. Britain and the United States actually decided to take control of it and made it so that no one else could have it. Now, there were some countries that still had it, including Spain, still had slavery. Portugal, some of their friends. And so they didn't want to destroy their friendship. They had to create an understanding between them, managing basically it better. But they were there stopping all slave trade going across the United States or across the Atlantic Ocean, at least to the United States and the Caribbean. And so they sent a squadron out. Now, it's great. You're stopping all the ships. That's the middleman. It's like with the drug cartel. It's the person that's getting under the fence or around the fence when it comes to the southern border of United States and Mexico. But it doesn't stop all the drugs from coming in because that's just all the different ports and all the different ways that it's getting into the States. The best way of doing it is either stopping the people that produce or the people that use. Now, as you know, in the school system, we've always tried to work with the kids to help them understand the problems with using drugs. But as you can see, some of those people go into adulthood and they're still using drugs. So what if you went to the actual creators? So Escobar, the other cartels that are down in Mexico or Colombia or any other South American countries or other countries. There's countries all around the world that produce the drugs. So with slavery, you can either go to the slave owners, which America did. It freed all the slaves. Abraham Lincoln, Emancipation Proclamation, and such. But it doesn't actually stop the slaves from coming over to the Caribbean and other places. So Great Britain, even though they were patrolling the coast, they knew that that was not enough. They could not just get the middleman. They had to get the source. So they actually sent their men into Africa. So going up the rivers, going down between countries, they actually made treaties with different countries within Africa to stop the slave trade, and were allowed, and sometimes probably forced themselves into Africa to stop the slave trade. And they'd go in and actually get the people that were rounding up the slaves, rounding up the Africans to make to slaves. They weren't slaves at that time. So this is so cool because I never heard about this. So it just comes to show that when the United States in 1808 and Great Britain in 1807, before us, decided that we need to stop the slave trade, they really went into it and they put a lot of money into it, huge amounts of money, especially for their time. So even though that it did happen, I think, at least in my mind, they did everything they could to stop it from happening any further. It was the almost like an apology to all the rest of the people that could have been made slaves. And for all the people that are actually made it to America, hey, you're now free. And yes, you do have a lot of things that come up. Segregation comes up in the 70s with Woodrow Wilson, but there's actually a good amount of time of peace between the whites and the blacks, where there's not as much discrimination until segregation happens. That's when racism really explodes in the United States. But we'll get to that some other time. I just wanted to let you know that the African slave trade was actually stopped or halted thanks to the naval forces of the Britons. And in 1840s, 1850s, when the United States came in, they came in as well to patrol those waters. Great Britain had already were into the interior of Africa at that time. So the Americans helped out with everything else. Okay, so that's my quick story. I guess it wasn't too quick, but otherwise, now we're going to the preview. So preview for Historical Conquest is basically Monday we have Historical Conquest Jeopardy. That should have just been posted. Also, we have the Tutorial Tuesday coming out tomorrow. You're going to love this. If you get onto the site where we actually critique a lot of the cards, you're going to love going through and seeing how the process is that we decide on what the rules are. So if the cards have to be tweaked, if the rules have to be tweaked, that's where you'd find it, is in our Facebook group for critiquing cards. We also have headlines on Facebook for Historical Conquest as well. Whatever Wednesday is coming up. So we post things on Facebook, whatever we want. We also post YouTube videos of other things. I might do a rant. I might do something about the game. I might be completely left field and doing something completely different. So check it out. Also, Sneak Peek Thursday, our website is coming. It is so great. There's so many things being developed in this site. Can't wait to show you a little bit more. And Friday's a free day, but if you'd like us to do something special, please send us an email, historicalconquest@gmail.com or general@historicalconquest.com, and we'll send you, or we'll try to fit into our schedule for either social media or our YouTube video. We'd love to have all your insight as much as possible. So thanks so much for joining us on this Monday preview. We'll see you tomorrow on the Tutorial Tuesday. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.